Speaking of Gilbert and Blahal, I would like to know the story, if there is one. There's a potential there's not, but for me, that would be a story in of itself, of Rakhmonov. Where's he fit into this? I mean, this was the worst kept secret in MMA, that Blahal and Gilbert were trying to find each other. They were trying to steal beautiful placement on a pay-per-view of a co-main event spot, save the day, get the attention for doing that. Oh, and by the way, being a number one contenders match. And I'm just wondering where Rakhmonov was in this. Did he sit it out because he didn't see that this was going on or understand it? Did he insert himself and there wasn't an interest? I'd like to know. I mean, no matter who comes out of it, they're not going to have the beautiful record that Rakhmonov does, right? No matter who wins between Burns and Blahal, or if you even combine them together, they're not going to have as impressive of a record as Rakhmonov. 16-0, all with finishes. I mean, it's silly. I've never heard of it before. I believe it's the greatest record in the history of the sport. But you can't be a number one contender. Can't be a number one contender sitting there doing nothing. Can't be a number one contender because two guys stepped up, got up their biscuit, went out there and risked it. You sat there and did nothing, but you had a beautiful goose egg in the loss column, right? I mean, it just doesn't work that way. So where does he insert himself? And by the way, what's he do? I mean, that's one of the problems with me believing that Gilbert and Blahal is a number one contenders match. Just the calendar's got a problem. Blahal or Gilbert are great choices right now today for number one contender. You go fight each other and come out. Wonderful. Wonderful. Love these guys. But Colby's got that spot. And moreover, and most importantly, is that doesn't have a date yet. I mean, as a matter of fact, from the last interview that Leon did, which I believe was just a comment on his social media, he said, I'm not going to do it. It's not the right guy. I just sharing that for you. Whoever comes out of Blahal and is going to be speaking up. And if Leon comes in and co-signs, it's just one of those things. I do believe that that's Colby's spot. I'm not trying to start something. I'm sharing for you that Colby and Leon are going to fight, right? So that's way over here on the calendar. That's way over here. Somebody comes out of Gilbert and Blahal. I don't know that they want to wait not only over here, but then for the new training camp and the new cycle. I don't know that they want to sit there for 7 months, 8 months. I mean, those guys appear to be very busy. They appear to like to go out there and compete, which means whatever they've got, they're putting on the line, right? That's this sport. This sport is a poker hand where you're all in at all times. Whatever it is you have, whatever it is you've accomplished is on the line. You got a championship, the championship's on the line. You got an undefeated record, somebody's O's got to go, right? It's all on the line at all times. So if you're a number one contender, you're going to bring that. Rakhmonov's going to come in and try to steal that from you. Or do you want to sit and wait? Well, even if you do sit and wait, the very thing that you're doing to Colby right now, which is bringing massive attention, you try to take an opportunity on a fight that is yet to be signed. The same thing that you're doing, Rakhmonov's going to have the chance to do it back to you. And should. This is how this game is played. This is fair game. Everybody's doing what they should do. I just suggest for you, where was Rakhmonov on this? Where was he? And who in the hell are you going to put Rakhmonov with? 16-0. People talking about number one contenderships, right? Joe Rogan said on the broadcast that Rakhmonov's next fight might be for a title. That is wildly helpful. Turned out Joe had it wrong, but that's wildly helpful. So, we believe that Blahal and Burns are fighting for number one contendership. We just believe that. But that creates a line. And now let me give you another scenario. Who is likely to fight Rakhmonov? Who is even possible? Who could you even possibly sell to the audience to go in against a guy that's 16-0 and one win away from fighting for a championship or going and joining that line? Because there's only one guy. Are you aware of who it is? Or is your mind going off? You think I'm going to say Chimaev, don't you? You think I forgot that Chimaev's up at 85, don't you? Who's the one guy with Gilbert and Blahal busy and Colby booked with Leon? Who's the one guy that could fight Rakhmonov that would be a number one contenders match? Go ahead. He's right in front of you. Kamaru Usman. That's your answer. If Rakhmonov comes up on Kamaru, that will be the number one contenders match. And whatever you see on May 5th will be like it didn't happen. And for Rakhmonov to sit back and you got to understand, I don't know him. I don't know him. I like him. I'm becoming a fan. Right? I'm real tight with Danny. It's one of those things. But I don't know Rakhmonov enough to know if he jumped in this mix. Generally, if he was jumping in this mix and they decided to go with Blahal and they decided to go with Gilbert, that's the fight to make. They would give him credit. Generally, that would come up. Dana would find a way to work that in. This is the fight I'm going with. God, it was tough. God, but it was freaking Rakhmonov. Won't quit lighting me up. He wanted to do it. Generally, Dana will find a way to get a guy credit. I just haven't heard this. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I haven't heard it. So if it didn't happen, I'm going to speculate as to why. Turns out he's not the badass we thought he was. That's going to be on the table somewhere. Or he's sitting on something that he deems to be bigger. I don't want to go too far with the Kamaru Usman thing. I can grab my phone and call Kamaru. I haven't done that. I talk to Ali every day. I haven't asked him. But everything is on the table. Retirement is on the table. And if he goes out, he will go out as one of the greats. He will go into commentating, he will be loved, and he will wait for his phone to ring for his time to go into the Hall of Fame. It's on the table. He's done everything. Having the eye of the tiger and wanting back in there is also on the table. And if that is what he wants, right? Because Kamaru hasn't been talking to us lately. So we assume certain things and then we run with it. He didn't talk to us much before he went and did this trilogy fight, his last fight there with Leon. So we assumed he's just buckled down and focused. But he hasn't talked to us since that fight either. And we assume it's because he's taken his oars out of the water. He's exhaling for once. Pressure's off. He's enjoying the family. We believe those things. We've never been told it, though. And there is another side, which is that he's hungry. He's coming back. He knows he's going to have to go through fire. This is the guy that's become a number one contender and had to do it again. Why wouldn't he do it a third time? He knows what it's going to take. And he knows with the people available, there's one guy that would be a number one contenders match that will shut the book on everybody else. And he knows that one guy is Rakhmonov. And Rakhmonov stayed silent on an opportunity to slide in on a 6, walk into a co-main of a PPV. He stayed silent. Perhaps he's not the tough guy we think he is. Or perhaps he's got an ace up his sleeve and there's only one left on the table. And it's got Kamaru Usman's face on it.